in the beginning, all films were short.
It's not a charity. We're not here to help you. We're not here to help your cause. We're there to make our money make money.
It probably takes a year to 2 years to really start seeing money.
That title of executive producer on a feature is not the same as the title of executive producer on a television show.
Because what you're seeing on television right now is history in terms of where decisions are being made today.
Don't give yourself a bad review before you start.
I'm sorry, I'm super awesome, and this is my pitch.
What are recommendations for packaging?
Getting to the right person at the right time, and you have the right piece of the package that they want to see.
And be able to adjust, because the plan will never execute exactly as you plan it.
If you set aside money for social media, for a publicist, for marketing, things like that, and really you don't have to sit behind those dollars and you can have more control of your own release.
You can't go wrong. As for me, I knew that my episode was either going to be awesome or fine. That's the risk you take.
Joining us right now is Erin Carrere of Spy versus, is it
Spia
or Spia?
Spia, I know.
The Spia in your life you got to spy on. Which is it?
It is Spy versus Spia because Spia is Italian for spy, and it's about an American spy against an Italian spy.
Oh, even better! I love it. I'm already like I'm having like theories in my head about this. Obviously, it looks fun. It looks like something that I want to see more of. And I know we could check it out right now at the 18th annual La Femme International Festival right now. That's the poster of it. I love the background that you have of it. But is he holding a gun or is that something else? What's going on there?
Yeah, that's definitely not a gun. So this is a spy. This is an action rom-com spy parody. And if you see there, that's actually a hairdryer.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not. Wait, hold up. Does it have like a AK like attached to it, like hidden, or because I see her with the mic? But I mean, okay, what kind of spy is this?
So this spy is Carlo Il Bello, and he's a member of something that's known as the Gruppo di Supermodelli Speciali, which translates to the group of supermodel spies. That is an Italian group of spies dedicated to high fashion and jawlines so sharp they could be used as a weapon. So the conceit of Carlo Il Bello, as you can see him doing his little dance there on screen.
It's a fun.
Carlo Il Bello is perhaps what one might call vain, and he is a great spy, but he sometimes blunders. So, for example, instead of pulling out a gun at an appropriate moment, he may pull out a hairdryer or other items appropriate to coif himself and keep himself as beautiful as any James Bond that ever walked the earth. Whereas the other character, my character, is Erin Anderson. She's an American spy from Minnesota, but she's also Irina Volka, Russian soprano, because of course one of the best ways to ingratiate yourselves into the lives of high-level Russian officials is by singing opera.
Okay, well, I gotta say this, it already looks good. It's shot very well, by the way. I'm working on an action film. I'm not gonna lie, I'm almost thinking of you as like directing this, because you really pulled it together on this, and it looks like A, fun, and B, just like something that usually spy movies aren't, which are like, oh, I want to watch, you know?
Thank you. I will say we had an amazing cinematographer. Her name is Janine Sides, and she's also a stunt cinematographer, meaning she did a lot of the action and fight scenes we did. She was literally in the middle, rolling around with her camera. She has done jumping from buildings with stunt people with her camera. She's amazing, an amazing cinematographer. We were very lucky to get her.
Okay, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for the entire thing that you're doing there. Again, it looks fun. It looks like I know it's like, how long is this? It's made for television and/or, you know, I could see this as a film though. Are you like in talks for that, or?
I would love to be in talks for that. We originally wrote it, so we've written multiple episodes, and we wrote it such that if we were to film them all, it would actually also give you the experience of a feature film. Um, right now we have just this proof of concept pilot episode, and I would love to make it a feature film or a limited series or whatever, however it would like to live. We actually filmed it just before COVID, and then we had COVID to edit and put it together. And there is, it was that was a time where we were like, oh no. And now I'm so glad that we finally got to finish it and bring it out after COVID. So I would love for it to be a feature film and or anything anywhere else that would like to live.
Well, I can see any and every like makeup artist kind of like be like that other spy, you know, because they got to go anywhere and everywhere. Kind of like what was that one with Affleck, and he brought like his entire team to kind of like remember they were like part of a news crew or something, and they kind of yeah, that one.
Yes.
Right, it kind of reminds me of that in a way. I mean, it's not, but I like how you put it at the end of this, because you have a synopsis on this. It says if you like Moonlighting, True Lies, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, or Naked Gun, it's kind of like in that same kind of like field of, hey, don't take it serious. It's not Mission Impossible with Tom, but I can see Tom kind of having fun in this,
Yeah, well, didn't he do what's the movie he did where he played the film producer and they're all making that action movie, and it's they're making an action movie, and Tom definitely lets himself have fun and lets his hair down, although in that film he was playing a balls person. But yes, I definitely could see
it works.
I mean, it works. So thank you. Yeah, well, we definitely wanted to give a feel of a real spy movie and real action whenever we could. So
well, you did good. I always say, sound is important, right? I think you got that nailed down. The way you shot it, you got that nailed down. So it looks like a feature. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't expect a short out of this. I'm not going to lie. When I look at the trailer. So good job on that. That means you're already there. Now you just need to put the funds together. And sometimes people don't understand when you're in a festival, you do what you can with what you got. But sometimes you got to pull favor, right? And is there any nods you want to say to those that kind of put their hand in this?
Oh, so many. First of all, we raised the money to film this initially on Kickstarter, and half of the funds came from Italy because one of our stars, of course, and co-writers is from Italy. He went to military school in Italy, so think of it as the West Point of Italy. And we actually reached out to all these alumni from his military school, La Scuola Nunziatella in Naples, Italy, and so many of them contributed Kickstarter funds. We're so grateful. It's not really much of a thing they do in Italy at this point in time. And then the music is by my friend and brilliant songwriter and rocker, Mark Malman. I'm so grateful that he contributed the music and wrote the theme song. And there are so many people that it's almost too many to say thank you to, but John Norton was our editor, and he really did such an amazing job for us. And I kept making changes and changes and changes. So I'm just so lucky. All of the people, Evan, Graham Dunn did our post-production sound. So many people contributed. I'm sorry I can't name them all right now, but you'll start playing me off with the music. So,
well, here's what I love. It looks like film, right? And right now we're at a time where I'll give you an example. I probably watch every other day something with my mom because I want her safe, right? I don't want her to get any virus, right? There's so many viruses out there, right? And I say, okay, what do you want to watch next? And she's like, okay, I want to watch this, I want to watch that. But if it's got action in it, and yours does, she's like, okay. If it has like just like talk, it's got to be like intrigue. And so she likes a lot of international stuff as of late. She's been watching Paris films, France films, and she doesn't even mind like the occasional like dub, right? She doesn't like reading. She hates reading. But I go, okay, we're at a time where you can watch these films on your device, on your TV. And recently I got like a TV because the other one burnt out because we had like a power surge or something. And I got it, at like, Target for like, less than like $300. But my point is this, you can watch your film and you shot it really well. And what is that? Is that 4K or just because it looks pretty like high def?
Yeah, it's 4K. It was actually one of the reasons we were so lucky to get Janine to shoot it is that she had just gotten her brand new camera and she wanted to play with it before she went back to her job on Queen of the South, if you've ever seen that show.
Yeah.
So we were so lucky. She was like, yeah, I'll come I happen to have this time open up. I would love to come play with my camera and experiment and make sure I really know how to work with this on your proof of concept TV pilot short film. So we were lucky to have that. And I do hope that, when people watch it, they laugh. But we did write it to try to give a little something for everybody. So not that we're trying to please everybody, but we wanted, what's funny about the spy genre and what's funny about a will they, won't they romantic comedy. We wanted to bring those elements together. So that's why there's some action as well as, so far the main characters are only ever fighting, but it's fun fighting.
Well, I think it's fun. Even the first few, probably 8 to 12 seconds, you show that and people are already hooked, and I think you can make anything out of that. You got a great cinematographer, great camera, by the way, because I'm already thinking of a film including wolves and like vampire and something that hasn't been done. But do you have that in your head somewhere?
I actually do have a project in my mind for vampires. All my life, people have told me I look like a vampire, which I finally, once I became an actor, realized it was a compliment.
It is. It's fierce. It's fierce. And people don't understand. It's some people believe in the how do I put it? Okay, if you were a wolf, what kind of wolf would you be?
Ooh, well, I am from northern Minnesota, and I would be one of those gray wolves, one of those sleek, mysterious gray wolves who stares at you with their eyes when you drive up in the middle of the night and your eyes shine on them. I don't know if they're like timber wolves in northern Minnesota, so they're very mysterious and a little eerie. And if I were a vampire, the thing about being a vampire, of course, the sucking blood part isn't very appealing to me. I'll just put it that way. But think about, you would finally have time to learn all the languages you want to speak, to master instruments, to read all the books, watch all the movies. I would be able to watch everything on Netflix. That's what it would give you, the gift of time. Just saying.
I think you should call it Blood Hunter.
What? Yes, I love it. Blood Hunter. Although, again, personal aside, blood.
Well, do you like steak?
No, I don't really. I grew up vegetarian, and I only started eating meat in my 20s. So I can't say that I like it or don't like it. I just it's not my first choice. It's not my go-to.
She's a reformed wolf, people. All right, so there you go. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. No, great job, Erin. I can't wait to see more from you. Great team you put together, and thank you for bringing it to the Femme Film Festival. It's something that I can't wait to actually see. I'm definitely going to go ahead and purchase this so I can watch it, because I have some ideas that I think people need to know about, and I think you have the team to do it. So I think if you guys are for hire, I have a script just waiting that includes wolves and vampires. But we call them wolvies.
Wolvies. I'm going to tell you something. Actually, one of my nicknames in my old band was Wolfie. That's funny.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, it's about a band called Wolves.
We got to talk.
Yeah, the Wolvacious.
What? That's amazing.
It's a whole thing. All right. Make it a great day. Thank you for spending time with us. It is the 18th annual La Femme International Film Festival. It's happening this week. It's on demand. Go check it out. Great film. You're going to see more from Erin, I guarantee it. And great job to the entire team. Make it a great one, okay?
Thank you so much. We're very excited to be part of the LA Femme Film Festival, so thank you.
Absolutely. More after this.
In the beginning, all films were short.
It's not a charity. We're not here to help you. We're not here to help your cause. We're there to make our money make money.
It probably takes a year to 2 years to really start seeing money.
That title of executive producer on a feature is not the same as the title of executive producer on a television show.
Because what you're seeing on television right now is history in terms of where decisions are being made today.
Don't give yourself a bad review before you start.
I'm sorry, I'm super awesome, and this is my pitch.
What are recommendations for packaging?
Getting to the right person at the right time, and you have the right piece of the package that they want to see.
And be able to adjust, because the plan will never execute exactly as you plan it.
If you set aside money for social media, for a publicist, for marketing, things like that, and really you don't have to sit behind those dollars, and you can have more control of your own release.
You can't go wrong. As for me, I knew that my episode was either going to be awesome or fine. That's the risk you take.
That's right. It's the 18th annual La Femme International Film Festival. You can get your tickets right now at lafemme.eventive.org/films. You can check it all right there, and I guarantee you are going to love each and everything that you get to participate in. And also, there's actually going to be a live viewing on Thursday, Friday, and I believe, well, you can check it out. There's a bunch of panels, a lot of industry things happening, especially if you want to get into the world of film. Some people actually get started through the La Femme Film Festival. I know we've done it so many years that we actually go, wow, like we see them like years later, we go, oh my God, now you made that little short into a film. So a lot of these ones that say proof of concept, actually, it's a real thing. Sometimes it happens behind the scenes after someone sees it or it gets featured in a festival. Some actually, let me put it this way. Some get a award and then they actually feature that as well. So the La Femme International Film Festival has been able to give out awards left, right, and center. And sometimes they say, hey, got featured in. And sometimes actual distribution companies will look at that and they'll say, worth a watch. So you got to get in, and you got to get in with a film festival that actually does things for you. And the La Femme Film Festival is exactly one that does that. I will say I've been a part of a lot of film festivals in the past years, but this one always helps the filmmakers through it all. And I will say it was started by a group of people that actually do a lot of things behind the scenes. But of course, the one who does everything and anything, Leslie Lepage and her entire team, they go through the arduous task of seeing if these films are worth seeing. And sometimes they can't even fit them all. So if you have a film or you're thinking of one, you want to participate in the panels. There it is right there. So click on the link. It's right there. Easy for you to check out. More after this. Stay tuned. That's right. It is the 2022 Lahi happening at the La Femme Film Festival. Reina Bonta's here with us. Reina, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
No, we're happy to have you with us. I understand this is actually a film. I know you did this with some great people. Can you talk about it?
Yeah, I made this film. I wrote it and directed it and produced it with an incredible team that shot during the final week of 2021 on island, on location in Hawaii. And it's just a really exciting project about reconnecting with your culture, about third generation cultural identity, Filipina identity specifically. So it explores a lot of really important themes that are close to my heart and close to my history as a person and a filmmaker as well.
Okay, first of all, great job. That's number one. Number two, I'm looking at this and I'm a little jealous. I'm not going to lie. What does Lahi mean, by the way? Because I understand she returned, the character Mimi de la Cruz returns to Oahu, which, not going to lie, I'm like, I need a vacation. Do you got the hookup?
Right. Lahi is a term in Tagalog, which is a language native to the Philippines, that translates to race. It's a word that means kind of, you know, about your heritage and where you come from. And it's a word that I actually learned recently when reconnecting with my Lola, who is my grandmother. That's the Tagalog word for grandmother. And she is someone who's been really central to the project, has inspired a lot of it as well. And she actually appears in the film as an actor, as our Lola apparition. So creating the film and even going as far as to naming the film as a word that was inspired by her is something that's always been a real pillar of the process of making Lahi.
Okay, now I appreciate you more than you know, because I understand you are you studying film, and is this like your, because I see the student thing next to, you know, short.
Yeah, I just graduated from Yale University in Connecticut. This was my senior thesis project, so it was in fulfillment of my degree in film and media studies. And it also is kind of catapulting my postgraduate life and real world life as a filmmaker. So it kind of served two key purposes in that way. And I feel really grateful to have made something that is both something for school, but also is kind of helping to break me into this industry.
Well, one of our social media viewers right now, Rich, is saying, what was the easiest versus hardest part of making the film? I think he wants to go to Hawaii soon.
I think one of the hardest parts about making the film was definitely doing this all during a pandemic. and filming it during 2021. All of development and pre-production happened remotely while I was in Connecticut on the East Coast, and my entire crew and support system was on Oahu. And the easiest part of the film was the people that helped, make this possible. It was the incredible support system that I had, and I primarily met, most of them through my year away. I took a year off during the pandemic from Yale to kind of make sure that I was getting a really enriching experience still, even though we were kind of doing classes and academics through Zoom. And during that time off, I worked on the set of Magnum PI, a reboot of to CBS show, which filmed on Oahu, and then kind of working through that was able to make some really incredible relationships and friendships that helped me, later on when I had kind of decided that I wanted to create this film, those same people who I met and collaborated with on Magnum PI came on as crew members and team members for this short film. So I feel really lucky to have met them. And I would say the easiest part of making the film was kind of doing this all with an incredible support system that was them.
Well, I know, there are some people that don't understand the ability to make a film and then make it with a team and then make it let me put it this way. When you go where you're at, that's easy. But when you shoot on location, that's sometimes sometimes there's, there's people that kind of understand. Then there's people that go, oh, you need a permit, or there's someone that, kind of, makes it a little hard. And then you go, but it's, and the student thing doesn't even work anymore. Was that easy or kind of were you able to kind of take snippets of the location or how did you do that?
Yeah, so because I was kind of in a completely different location in Connecticut and on the East Coast than where we were filming, I had my producer and cinematographer really be key essential people in helping to location scout for us and send photos and diagrams and be really thoughtful and thorough in selecting the places that we were going to shoot. And lucky for me, there are people who are really experienced on the island and are shooting in dozens of different locations every week. So they kind of had an amazing arsenal of ideas coming into that process already. So I think I was very lucky to have them as collaborators for helping to secure our locations on island. And you're right, it is such a beautiful place and full of so much incredible history and Filipino culture as well. So it was not only, narratively suited for the project, but also aesthetically beautiful and a place that is just so rich in so many different things.
Well, look, you brought some really good stuff. It looks like it has heart. It's at least a good 20, right? And I will say, it deals with the loss of a grandma, right? And what is it something that you were able to include that you're this is very personal to me?
Yeah, it's personal to me because I grew up raised by my grandmother. She was born and raised in the Philippines and is a child of war and survivor of war. And I was really lucky growing up to have her tell me the stories of her life and her personal history and our family history from the Philippines. And the film is personal to me in the sense that it deals with cultural reconnection. And I think there was a long time for me where I was, hearing those stories that she told me, but not necessarily listening to them. And it was kind of during these more recent years of my life where I've really grown to appreciate her life and contributions to society and Filipino culture in a new way. So I think it's personal to me in the sense that it's kind of reflexive. It's a way of exploring and reconnecting with culture for me as a filmmaker. But the film itself explores reconnecting with culture and appreciating your family identity. So while my grandmother, I am so lucky to say that she's still with me, and the film deals with the loss of a grandmother. It's kind of exploring the more theoretical concept of what happens when the person like your grandmother that ties you to your cultural identity is no longer with you.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of glad you actually have her alive. That way, it's not like because some people do that after, and you're like, now you appreciate them. Come on, So good job.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, you can check it out right now. It's all available. It's Lahi. I love the name, by the way. I think it needs to go next level. Is there a film like coming soon, like in the future with this? Do you think?
Feature film?
Yeah.
In the works, yes. Something expanding this same concept is in development. So I'm
Even
excited.
better. Okay, awesome. You got to bring it back to us. Okay, we'll be the first to feature. I guarantee. Good job on this. Looks great. Great poster, by the way. It already takes you and you go, okay, what's that about? I think I'll rent it. So good job, great job, and keep it going.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. All right, more right after this.
In the beginning, all films were short.
It's not a charity. We're not here to help you. We're not here to help your cause. We're there to make our money make money.
It probably takes a year to 2 years to really start seeing money.
That title of executive producer on a feature is not the same as the title of executive producer on a television show.
Don't give yourself a bad review before you start.
I'm sorry, I'm super awesome, and this is my pitch.
In the
That's right. Joining us is Kang Blue's very own Miss Lee. Look, great job on this, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's something that's pretty amazing. It's something that we all can identify with, unfortunately, all around the world. And I have to read this out. It says, during the pandemic, a 4-year-old Asian girl facing COVID-related adversity finds the courage to free herself from her security blanket. What does that mean? What's that about?
Oh, it's about actually everything during pandemic season, 2020. We all went through so much of an overwhelming feeling of loss and anxiety. So it's about, and Southern California had this like bioluminescent global warming activities going on, and with things got all sparkling, and then blue. The girl dress, it's Elsa's Frozen, the dress she wears, and father who has a blue uniform or scrub because he's ER doctor. So blue kind of, gave me idea. Okay, all this I can put together as some form of a poetry in a sense. What we're going through, all these difficulties. So I just put together sort of a bouquet of the difficult time we're going through.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I love it, and I think it's amazing. I think if anything, it's something that it's shot well. I'm very big. Sometimes there's film that is shot and you're like, okay, you shot with your little cam, big deal. This one you could tell you put a lot of thought into it and the choreography of it. How long have you been doing film?
Oh, that's a good question, because I've been away from filmmaking for over 2 decades.
Wow.
I've been taking care of my mom, and I've been kind of step aside from my filmmaking career. But I promised to her, because she always felt bad, like, oh, you sacrificed for me, and that. No, Mom. I promise you, I'll make a film. And she passed away about 5 years ago. Here is this first film, Kang Blue.
Oh, you know what? I can already say I know. A, she's thankful that you were there for her, and B, you're not like other kids, that go, bye, see you later. I'll do my own thing. And C, I'm glad you're back to it, because I think we need good film and we need good story. And I love how you tied the whole thing together. And talking about the little one, I see her take a little blanket into with the little one, which is real young. Does it deal with some very things that are kind of very telling of the time that we're in? It's called pandemic for a reason.
It's a security blanket, which is we all comforting and we're hanging on. But if a 4-year-old girl has courage to let go and stand on her own, we can all learn from it. And then I think it convinced the story. I hope people can relate. Oh, the girl really is sort of having her own heroic moment that nobody knows how she did it. She never tell anybody, but she did it. She sacrificed her little blanket, security blanket, to her younger brother. By the way, the baby, we had to wait for the baby to be born. In July, we found out this lady is 8 months pregnant. So we waited until she had the baby, and then we had to wait 3 months for the baby to be in the film. And this is during pandemic.
Okay, I can tell you the social media chat room's already kind of like filling up right now, and people are like so happy that you did this because A, it looks great, and B, again, it's part of the great like selection here at the La Femme Film Festival. I know when you say you stepped away from it, I want to almost go back to like when you did it like all the time, because I could tell you have a lot to give, and in this film you kind of did that. You also put a team together. And I can imagine, like, you got more behind you. What's around the corner for you?
Okay, I was Sundance Screenwriters Lab 1996, and the feature film project got turned around. It's a story in Koreatown leading up to 1992 riot, which is the 30th anniversary this year, and we still do not have a feature film actually. It's voiced by, the Korean immigrants' voice. So I'm looking forward to launching my first feature.
Well, you know what? Good. I will be there to support you 100% because it already looks good. And if you need anything we'll talk. But that's a great thing about the La Femme Film Festival, which a lot of people don't understand. It's a social thing. So other filmmakers get to meet other filmmakers. Sometimes we do a Zoom thing, and then we get they all on at the same time. And then we go, okay, what project are you working on? What can you need help with? I know about in 2020 and 2021, especially 2020, Leslie did that. And we had like this like wine thing after the fest. And anyone that actually bought a ticket could participate. And everyone was like, okay, talk about where you're at, team up with somebody and then make it happen. Right now we're here. And you did it. Good job, by the way. Keep it going. We have a question here from Rich. He says, any advice on working with children or babies when making a film? Because you did make it look effortless, by the way.
Oh, no. Trust me. I almost died. No. No, I mean, it was very, we had to do like a COVID test. We didn't even have a rapid test like we do, So every day we had to do COVID test for all the people, all the, crew members, and having to have a 4-year-old girl with infant in the movie, it wasn't easy. I mean, but it was good. Everybody kind of put themselves together, and I think we just came out of it and survived, basically.
Well, I love digital, and I tell people, including like if you have to do pets or anything, the great thing about digital is you can erase and repeat, where you couldn't do that back in the day with film. You had to get it right there because it was so pricey,
Yeah. I mean, it's not that cheap, actually. Digital think that, it's still having to put qualified crew members together. It's not cheap.
Yeah, well, you made it look effortless, and I'm going to bring it up again because I think people need to see this. And when I play the trailer, and all you have to do to participate, people, is just click on the link below, and we'll include it on everything. Get the word out, and you'll see it right there. And it's really cool because I love how you got the bioluminescence. They actually just had that again. It was reported on, I think, in the news this last week. So good job. But I love how you just put the whole story together, and you just like right there with just a trailer. It's like, oh my God, I want to know what that's about,
Yes, and we as you know, anti-Asian, rhetoric's going on after Trump saying, Chinese virus and kung fu. And I just wanted to put out there because it's all in the part of a whole elements at the time, and we're still having difficulty with there's a hate crimes against the Asians.
Well, and I've seen it, and I said, do you live on the same earth? Like, do you have a cold? Do you have a flu? Did you give it to someone else? Do we call it the Trump virus? What they, so anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I know I'm going to get somebody saying, hey, how dare you? I say, hey, we're almost at war with Russia. I mean, what do you think?
Right.
So you got to be careful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to.
Well, thank you so much, because I especially want to thank to LA Femme International Film Festival, because I have not been really lucky in a sense being selected, and I could not believe it. La Femme International Film Festival saw this film, and without any previous award or anything, they picked it, and I'm very grateful. I'm very, very grateful.
Well, I could say right now, if Leslie were here, she'd say you deserve it, because they watch you and everyone. I don't know where they found the time. Seriously, I'm like, can I get on the panel? They're like, no, it's us. I go, okay, fine, because I kind of want to see these films, But you're right, I don't have the time. But I'm glad they picked you. Now other people can watch it. They can watch it on their device. They can watch it on TV if they have a smart, and all they have to do is just type in right there, lafemme.eventive.org. It'll give you the details, and then download the app. It's available on your smart device, Eventive. Go check it out and get featured. All right, people, make it a great day. We're going to see you around the corner. Thank you so very much for bringing all the great film to us, and I can't wait to see more, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, more after this. Stay tuned. We got with us Marissa Cohen, which I'm not going to lie, Marissa. I think when it comes to lighting and cinematography, you're probably the best, set design. There was one other one that we had, maybe a wolf thing with earlier. But how, did you light yourself, or did you have it lit? Or, is that part of a film that you're on? Are you on the, backstage of a new feature you're doing?
You mean the nice angelic lighting I have right now?
Very right.
Thank you. No, well, I'm here in Portland, and we actually have some poor air quality today, and I think that's from I don't know what it is, forest fires on the West Coast or what have you, but it's making it very hazy outside.
It looks great on the cam. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the one tiny benefit of forest fires, I guess, is some nice lighting on your computer. But no, I have a skylight here, so that's probably it. So
it looks great. I think you should shoot something. Look, you got an animated thing here. It's called the Cloaked Realm. I'm not gonna lie, I really like this type of animated, I don't know what to call it. It's a style. I like it. The Cloaked Realm, what's it about?
So the Cloaked Realm is 2 stories from American science fiction writers who wrote about 100 years ago, actually. And we put these 2 stories together in a feature where we fully animated their stories, which foretell many science fiction themes and current issues, even though the stories were written so long ago. So what you will see is 2 science fiction stories retold, reimagined, and we put some of our own take into the stories when we wrote and animated them. So yeah, that's what we did. We've been working on this for almost 10 years now. It's been an epic project. Yeah, we have a small team. We've all put our hearts and souls into this. We really wanted to bring these old stories to life because we think that a lot of people, don't know about them. They have, like I said, they have a lot of very modern, relevant themes for today in them too.
Well, I think it looks good. I think it's telling It kind of reminds me of something like I like Black Mirror, right? And
Mhm.
it has that kind of feel, but animated. You know what I mean? Not like Animatrix, but although that one scene at the beginning kind of reminded me of that. Like many stories, all telling a thing, right?
Yeah, oh, that's a great comparison, Dark Mirror. I love that show because what we have here is we try to have like a lot of twists and turns, you know, things that you're not expecting in the story that will be like surprising and just kind of unusual animation that you don't see every day.
Yeah, exactly. And I understand we can find more at Cloaked Realm. Very cool. Rich also is asking this question: animated sci-fi, such a unique combination. Are there any movies that inspired you to make the Cloaked Realm or affected how you visualized your film before rolling the camera?
Ooh, that's good. We didn't even
All
roll
right.
a camera, Rich. But I like that. I don't know. We're fans of a lot of the old classic science fiction movies, like Star Wars. Everybody says it, but the old Star Wars, things like Tron. We got when we screened once, we got compared the style to Eon Flux, and we were like, we love that. That's so great because those are some of our favorites when it comes to something like Eon Flux, when it comes to combining sci-fi, animation, storytelling. We just like that one too. But there's a lot. I should have had a nice little cheat sheet here to tell you all my favorites. But
and I'll say this, what attracted you with these stories that put like a whole theme together? Because it usually is a theme, and I like how he said anime plus sci-fi. It's a unique combination, and it's one that works, especially like when you want to make it like a film. Because I just saw something, it was an anime, and I showed my mom because I like anime. My mom doesn't really, care for it, but I'm like, this is interesting. It was a film, I think somewhere from like Asia or something like that, and it was about time travel. He goes back as a boy, saves the girl, and then he goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But his past affects his future affects his past. Then they made a feature, and I was like, and they took every scene that they did in the animated and they made it feature. There's other films like that. And you go, wait a minute, like, you think Sin City, like that's based on the comic. So I guess my question is, if they wanted to make this a feature, how could they, using your series, you know what I mean, of special stories?
if who did? If who wanted to make a feature? I just missed the beginning of that.
Oh, anyone? Kind of like, okay, I'll give you an example, backwards. Matrix had Animatrix, right?
Mhm.
But that was like little short stories about the world of the Matrix, right? And now
Right.
Matrix lives on, right? You got 4, 5, 6, 7 coming pretty soon. So what would you say, like with this, like if somebody had a story and you wanted to highlight that in an animated, is there a second one, Cloaked Realm?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, we made a whole series of stories. It's like an anthology series. And this feature here is our director's cut. So we have a whole, this is part of why we've been working on this for so long. We have a whole series, 10-episode series that we're just finishing up now. So this is kind of part of that world that we created. But yeah, I see what you're saying about the bounce back from live action to animation. I mean, one of the reasons I've always loved animation since I was, 12 or 13 is like, it's possible to tell stories that you might not be able to tell with, live action. You can't, well, I mean, you can if you're a huge budget production, right? But as an independent filmmaker, it gives you the ability to go anywhere, have all kinds of special effects. It's kind of wild what you can do with animation, right? I feel like that's a tool and filmmakers will be exploring more in the future.
It is, and if I may kind of like bridge a gap, sometimes people that do comic, right, they wait for a feature film. But there's a lot of comic going like Marvel or DC. They're not going like independent unless you're like Dark Horse, like Hellboy or some of those, and you got big budget. But animation is the next best thing, especially the way you did it. I know it takes time, it takes effort. You said this is a project that's kind of had some time, but let's say somebody wanted to take a comic, like a first issue or a 0 issue, and then make using your animated, like, because you have a team, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, how would you do it? I mean, we just had the vision that we needed to do this. So we did a lot of research, looked at a lot of animators' styles. We found a team that we thought was a great fit, who they're also really passionate about science fiction and bringing these stories to life. So we have a synergy with them. So I would say if you want to bring a story to life through animation, things are more possible now than they were in the past. I think that, if you get inspired and do research out there, who might want to work on this with you, who might want to animate it, maybe you can. It's hard. I saw the interview you did earlier with the woman who animated the 20-minute piece herself. That was awesome. So
yeah,
yeah, I've been watching some of your interviews today. So yeah, I mean, you could try to do it yourself, but that's sometimes, you can find people who you have like synergy with, who want to work with you. And we ended up, one really cool thing is we ended up working with people all over the globe, really. Like the tools that we have today allow you to, if you want voiceover actors who maybe they live in Korea, maybe they live, on the other side of the planet, you could work with them potentially through voiceover. And, you can do so much even when you're not in the same location these days, like we are doing it, interview right now, right? So
I'm so glad you just said that. I literally just sent a script to a little kid that I discovered his mom I have on the show. I do, on this station. And I heard his voice over like Skype, and I'm like, is that your son? She goes, yeah. I go, I have a story. It's including a prince, a dragon, and a kingdom. And if I like get it to you, do you think maybe he'd want to do it? And then he's the one who said, hey, Ma, can I do that? And then she's like, do you have it ready? I go, let me get my week together. And then I wrote it real quick. And then I sent it out this morning to get him to do the voice for it. Cause I tell you, the voice, all you have to get, you get them when they're young and they got that special voice. It's English, but it's got this little twang, he could do a Celtic thing, right? Or a Scottish, or you don't even know where to put it. And you're so you get that, then you could put the animated later, which I know it's going to be an animated flick, but at the same time, there's so many ways to tell a story through book, right? You could put a book series of that, which evidently they did. And then you could put film eventually, but this is called proof of concept. But I say, get it seen, get it made, and then get it next, for the next, what's around the corner for your next flick? Well, we are starting to work on the second season of this series. We just don't want to stop. It's our vision to keep animating these science fiction stories. So we're trying to keep going. You're on the right track. Thank you. Yeah, it's fantastic to be in this film festival. We're so honored to be part of LA Femme, and we're just hoping to meet people, keep it going, and keep on with our path. Well, good job. If I were in the award judging category, which I'm not, I would nominate this, just so you know. So good job on everything that you guys are doing. Keep it going and keep pushing, okay? I appreciate that. I would nominate you for best interviewer. I appreciate that. Thank you. Do they have a category? It's host. Okay, got it. Okay. Host of the year, maybe. I don't know. All right. Thank you very much, Marissa Cohen. You can check out her film right now. It's here at the La Femme Film Festival International. You can actually stream it to your device right away. I'm telling you, just go ahead and check it out. They put a lot of sweat, time, and tears into this. Sometimes it looks real easy, but I'm telling you, it takes time. All right, people, we'll be right back right after this.
In the beginning, all films were short.
It's not a charity. We're not here to help you. We're not here to help your cause. We're there to make our money make money.
It probably takes a year to 2 years to really start seeing money.
That title of executive producer on a feature is not the same as the title of executive producer on a television show.
Don't give yourself a bad review before you start.
I'm sorry, I'm super awesome, and this is my pitch.
We're here with Vivian Vitolo, and Vivian, look, you got a film here. We're just kind of featured it right there. You can click on it and then actually purchase it. All you have to do is select the showing, and then you can have it on demand all throughout the fest. I will say this: it's a short, but it's called 5-Star Review about Jen. What's Jen doing?
Well, thank you so much for having me. Kylie, the writer, actor, and producer, wanted to join, but she is stuck at her other gig at the moment. So thank you for interviewing all of us and all the things that you're doing today. So Jen is finding herself in a interesting intersection of home sharing and psychological, mental, internal situation that she's trying to figure out what to do. And 5-Star Review is basically her journey of that. So it starts out where she meets her host, and throughout our short film, we see her grappling with many psychological and mental questions, internal questions.
Okay, well that's a little scary when you say it that way. I feel like like yikes, right? Oh, there's the knife. Okay, that makes sense. So question, whenever you get something done like this, working with a team like this, what's that like?
Well, the team is everything, right? I'm just somebody who, has the title director, and this all happens because of my team. We are so blessed to have a diverse female-led team that really loves horror. It's a genre that's only led by 5% of women, and I mean, we were all on board, so it was really simple, so fun. And I think as everybody who's watching, that it's a big lift to shoot anything, whether it's a short or a feature, commercial, or their personal projects. So when everybody's on board and they are all enthusiastic, it's really fun, and it's a great journey, though hard. So we're really, really proud and excited to push it over the finish line and have it at festivals like your own.
Yeah, and again, this isn't your first short, right?
This actually is my first narrative short.
What?
Yeah.
It looks like multiple. I mean, even the poster. I got to bring this up because it looks cool. It looks like a nod to something that I think everybody kind of sees a little like Stranger Things. Did I see a little like a little nod to that?
So probably, but only because we took the classic artist of their poster of the genres and put it into ours. And so I think Stranger Things are doing the same. So that's probably why our film and our poster have been shot a couple of years ago. So it was in the can, I think, before Stranger Things came out.
Yeah, got it. Okay, Rich is asking this. What was the dynamic like directing Kylie, who was also one of the lead actresses in the film? Also, what scene was the most challenging to shoot? That's a good question.
That's a great question, Rich. So Kylie and I have actually worked together on theater projects. And so this was our first film working together. And she is incredibly talented, and she's really open. She works together with Alex, who was Kelly Thorne, our other actress, myself, and Barbie. And so she really was open as the writer and as the actress. So it was kind of like a seamless thing. This 5-Star Review really was a collaborative effort. I can't say that from the top down, without one of us, there wouldn't have been a film. And that's where the magic happens, I think. I think the most challenging scene was, well, so there's two answers, right? Technically, our most challenging scene, I think, was the outside, shooting in a Brooklyn neighborhood that in a short, we didn't lock it down. So that was the most challenging, where you had car alarms and flavor of the streets. And so while it was wonderful, it was very hard to get some dialogue.
People underestimate, right? Anything and anything can go on unless you have a crew, or you have police ready to go, or you have you know what I mean? And that's usually like big budget, like Marvel, or
Yeah. And you know, you kind of really appreciated those budgets when you're sitting there as, you know, shooting in 3 days and you know, knowing that you only have a certain amount of takes to do, and you're kind of like, okay, do we go with the happy accidents? Do we you know, looking to Ben, who was my sound guy, and you know, do we have it? Do we have it enough? And we nailed it, I think. So that was the most challenging scene with her. But as the performance, it was, I think, maybe she has to answer this, but I think sitting there for the end of the scene, end of the movie, just, I don't know if everybody's seen it yet, but you'll see it when you see the end of the movie, when she's just laying there. I think maybe that, as an actress, could be the most challenging, because you're acting without actually doing much.
Well, and sometimes it's hard to, like, you know, as a director, right? Directing the person who helped write it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, do you let them, like, do you have like a cue that you go, okay, are you going for this? Are you going for that? Or do you kind of feel it along the way and like, okay, can we make this the best? Do you say, hey, can we reshoot that? Can we go with this? Are they open to that? You know?
Yeah, I think I was actually kind of spoiled, because like I said, Kylie was really open, and we discussed a lot of the scripts before we even crewed up. You know, we broke it down, and we cut some things out, and you know, all the filmmakers out there, you know, days of, we were cutting things, you know, because of time. And so she was really kind of along for the ride, and she listened, and there are certain things that she was definitely like, no, this is what I want in there. And you know, as a collaborator, I have to be like, okay, you know, and so like, how do we make it work? How do we make the storyline, the through line, on budget, on time and stuff? And so she I think I was spoiled. So if I work with a writer, actor, producer for the next time, I might have a different answer, but we really worked well together to make it come to life.
Well, I'm excited for you guys. Great job. We're going to bring it up again. Right here it is. 5-star review. It kind of makes me go, do I want to go to Airbnb anytime soon and give a review? Is she going to have a knife? And is she going to call me out on some stuff? So I don't know. But excited to see it as part of a great lineup of films. It's right here at the 18th Annual La Femme International Film Festival, all happening this week. Go get your tickets right now. Type in lafemme.eventive.org/films. We'll see more right after this. Thank you again for spending time with us, Vivian.
Thanks so much, Aaron, and thanks for having us at the festival.
Absolutely.
You know, in the beginning, all films were short.
It's not a charity. We're not here to help you. We're not here to help your cause. We're there to make our money make money.
It probably takes a year to 2 years to really start seeing money.
That title of executive producer on a feature is not the same as the title of executive producer on a television show.
Don't give yourself a bad review before you start.
I'm sorry, I'm super awesome, and this is my pitch.
Joining us right now is someone who understands a little something about a lake, especially Lake Pluto. It's something happening, and I will say this. We got Biz with us. Biz, look, this film, I understand it's one that we're going to want to watch. It's like a good short. I mean, it's almost half an hour, a little bit over. But anything with the lake, you kind of go, do I want to be here? Because there's nothing good with lake and like, you know what I mean? Or is it like, you know, like?
Yeah. Lakes tend to give you a creepy vibe, right? There's a lot of mystery with the lakes.
Kinda. And I'm not gonna lie, I like, you know, roughing it, but I'm not sure I want to be in a film with this. Well, can you give some perspective?
Yeah, I mean, for the film, it's a lot about someone going to nature to find themselves, to get some time away and clear their mind. But while they're out there, they get way more than they bargained for. They meet their doppelganger, and it's like meeting themselves and having a sort of interaction with themselves, but is it really them?
Yeah, that's never fun. And look, it's shot really well, by the way. I mean, it looks big
Thank you.
budget already. So great job on putting a team together. Not gonna lie, I don't know how you shot it with all those lake scenes. Did you use like a drone? Did you use? I mean, your cinematography is amazing.
Yeah, I have to give big credit to my director of photography, Emily Kordovich. She did that. We did do some drone photography as well. I was cam op on that, and we really went out there into the backwoods of the Catskills to get all that beautiful footage with all the, the seasons changing. A lot of, fall time footage and all the leaves changing, the colors. It was really quite amazing out there.
Yeah, not sure I want to meet my doppelganger. Wait, so can you give me kind of like a clue what happens when you meet your doppelganger in this film? Like, what are you supposed to know? Or because it looks like do they take your life? Did they take place of you? What goes on?
Well, I mean, the main character, she thinks she's just there, and she luckily found someone who she can talk to about all her problems, because this double knows everything about her life. But really, the double is someone else, and they have their own motives to, what do they want out of this relationship?
All right, that makes sense. In other words, okay. Well, look, I think it's great time, right? It's October, right? A lot of people are checking out like horror, and kind of, and I don't know that I would put it like in the suspense thriller category, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Not horror, but definitely a line of suspense in there.
But I want to see a film out of this. Can we make it happen? What would it take?
I mean, I do think there's more to explore to the story and the characters, and you could really get into it. And I've thought about it, maybe it'll become a feature, but, there's also other sort of sci-fi, what I call sci-fi light stories that I'd like to explore as well.
Okay, well, we got a question from social media, and it's coming from someone. He says, do you have any advice for filming at a lake, especially either outside during the day and night? I have a question on that, by the way. Is there any, because when you feature anything over water, you got to be careful of reflective surfaces, right? But when you get things in the water, I'd be like, certain people are like, I'm not going in there. And you're like, dude, do it. And then you got one take, like that woman going in. There's only one take. And you did it at the calm of you know what I mean? And that question is by Rich, by the way, but that's the rest of his question. He says, it looks really difficult. Light, bugs, nature.
Yes, it was very difficult. I mean, I really wanted to show woman in nature, how small a person is compared to the vastness of nature. So I really went for it, but it is tough to, battle the elements. We had a lot of issues with weather and rain and, inconsistent lighting. I did find a beautiful lake where, it was backwoods country, so there was no problems with other people being there, but, had to get my cinematographer out there and waiters, get her in the water. You have to make sure your actors are comfortable with getting in the water. It's freezing out there. You got to be ready to bundle them up as soon as they're out of the water. There's definitely a lot of logistics that go into it. And as far as the reflections and stuff go, I mean, for me, that was the fun of it. And part of the whole point is that you see a reflection in the lake, and that's something I wanted to play up.
Well, you did it well. I'm kind of going, uh-oh, right? But I got to watch it. It makes me want to watch it. It's called Lake Pluto. It's one of the many films that you can find here. And I will say, what I keep asking this question. I'm going to ask it a little differently. What do you want to do that you haven't done yet? Because it sounds like, I mean, I would make this into a feature, not gonna lie. Because I think you have what it takes to do that. Because there's a couple of films that's reminding me of, there's one called Smile, which is kind of creepy, not gonna lie. We talked about it on our show at ABC Radio. But I will say this. I think there's another one that they just did with I didn't understand it, but it's kind of shot in that I don't know if I want to go into the woods anytime soon, but if I do, I kind of want to come out maybe as the doppelganger. You know what I mean? What's the other attraction to the other films that you want to do other than this? Because I really think this is a feature.
Yeah. I think what I really like in terms of genres is what I've been calling sci-fi light in my head. And it's something where it's real life, but there's just one small twist to reality. And so, you know, in this story of Lake Pluto, it's just a woman going to the woods camping, except for there's one thing that's different than reality, that are normal lives. And I think that lets you explore different stories beyond sort of like the regular natural world.
Okay, well, you know what? I say make this a film 100%. I think it's a great calling card, and I think you could bring all the actors back, and then you could do a part 2, a part 3, a part 4, kind of like the Destination series. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or a limited series or something like that.
Yeah, because it's a good idea. You know, I know it's been done differently in different ways, but I like the way it's shot, and I love the time period that it is. Can you speak on the time and like, because sometimes getting that vibe of like, you know, I think it's called the 60s, right? In the late 60s?
Yeah, there's two time periods. There's present day, and then there's like a 1960s era. There's two sets of sisters, modern day and 1960s. And you know, that's a lot of fun doing a little bit of period drama, but you know, because we were such an indie production, we had to keep that small. Mostly it was done through wardrobe, and in part that's because I wanted to show, like, I chose that time period, and I just wanted to show a passage of time and how long like the bond of sisterhood could last.
Well, you can get your tickets now at lafemme.inventive.org. You can get it for $49. You can get all the great films. You don't have to choose just one. And again, this is one that I say, get this one and then get all the rest as well. And then, you know, promote the heck out of it. That way, La Femme Film Festival is here to stay. And then, of course, these people get next level what they really want, which again is feature length, because you put a lot of work into this. I say you might as well get paid for it. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say no to that.
All right, so there you go. All right, we gotta take a break. We'll be back with more right after this. Thank you for your time, Biz.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Joining me right now are a team that do everything they need to do to make it happen. It's called, well, let me put it this way. We got Rachel Weisz with us and Genevieve Cortesh, which is also the director of this. You two made something happen in this, and it's kind of a thing which I say, good job. And what is going to happen next? Because lately I've been interviewing a bunch of people that have talent, and I'm like, okay, we need to see the future. We need to see the future. Everybody's like, no, I'm done with it. I'm going to move on. Or the Earl King, what's going on with this?
Well, you can take it, Jen. Do you want to answer?
So it all was kind of baby born from Rachel's mind, and referencing this. The Earl King is actually a Germanic fable, poem, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And it's, we would love to make it into a feature. I think it's got, it could go the length, and it's about a story of a girl who falls in love with a mythical creature, the Earl King.
Okay, Rachel, look, whenever you have mythical, I think it's kind of cool, but whenever you have like a tale of the 1800s, including a king and a earl, what was it about this that you said, okay, Genevieve, I'm in?
Well, I don't know. We were trying to find a female-centric story, and I am all about adapting fairy tales and fables and kind of showing them for what they really are. So this was one of those where it was, not much of a leap, because the fable itself is pretty dark. So that fable was about a little boy who dies in the forest because the Earl King takes him. So we just switched it around and made it a young woman and kind of her exploration of her own sexuality and her identity. And I don't know. That's stuff that she and I are always into. So it was the perfect fit.
Well, it makes sense. And I got to read this so that people understand what they're going to watch.
Yeah.
It says, set in the 1800s on the edge of the American wild, Leora, a young woman from a strict religious family, runs away from her village into the arms of an ancient woodland god. Already got me. Who inhabits the forest. His name is the Earl King, and has promised to love her and give her freedom. Suddenly turns sinister when Leora realizes that he has other plans for her all along. What plans are that?
I mean, that's kind of giving away the whole movie.
I know. I don't know if we should say, but we also have this.
Go ahead.
There's also this theme about like toxic relationships. So it starts, all happy, and you can't imagine life being any better. And then you find out that your partner has ulterior motives and is maybe manipulating you. And so there's some interesting themes in the film that kind of explore that. But I don't know if we should give away what his secret is, because that's kind of the end of the film.
Okay, all right. I think Rachel has like something maybe for the next film then that he could do. Is he like in a multitude of them? It sounds like it.
For us to make this a 15-minute movie was a huge struggle. The script kept getting longer and longer. There's a lot that we want to do with it that we didn't get a chance to. We have like a whole backstory on the Earl King and, when he was in Germany and all these other things that we'd really like to explore in a feature, but it was just too big, obviously, for a little short.
Okay, well, Rich is asking this. What was the casting process like for the Earl King?
It was fun. I mean, we needed a creature actor. So that group of people, really fun group of people. They're always up for anything. And we actually got a suggestion from the Creature Creation House, Symbolic Arts. And that's where we found Marty Matulis, and he's the creature actor. Yeah.
That's a good name for a creature. Yo,
Is
Marty.
Yeah, Marty.
The creature that kills us all. Okay, so Genevieve, I love your name, by the way. I feel like you're kind of like a let me put it this way, like, isn't there there is like a prince and a princess. What is it about this era that really like has that thing that kind of has you kind of going all in? Is it like a dream? Did it start with a dream? Did it start with the idea? How'd it go?
I think we both love setting things in a time that's away from now, because obviously you don't have technology. You're not set in a modern environment. You're set in an older environment. We loved that it was in the woods, that life is a lot more basic. It's not all these different things. It's very simple for the characters. And I think we both love fantasies that are set in the 1800s and around that time. And one of our biggest references was The Witch, which has similar elements to our film.
That makes sense. Why not have a witch and an earl all together? That sounds cool. I did not want to be in the woods with you guys anytime soon. Does that make sense?
Smart move.
Yeah, smart.
You're like, good, you're not allowed. No, I'm just kidding. Look, a great job on this, by the way. We're all about promoting people that are doing great film. We especially are promoting, okay, I'm going to throw this out there, and remember, don't shoot the messenger. I heard this, and a woman told me this. She said, I keep hearing, and she heard this, I think she was like at lunch or something, or maybe it was coffee at Starbucks, and she heard people talking over their shoulder, or she was eavesdropping, I'm not sure, and they said, women don't know how to direct it. They don't know how to write good film. What's your answer to that?
I mean,
don't shoot the messenger. I didn't say it.
I mean, if you look at Phoebe Waller-Bridge, you look at Mindy Kaling, you look at so many, Greta Gerwig, Olivia Wilde. I mean, I think the Catherine Bigelow. There's so many fantastic directors and writers that are female or female identifying. So I would say you just gotta let us in and let us show you what we got.
Yeah, evidence.
I say don't let you. You might kill me. But go ahead, Rachel. Go with what you were going to say.
I was just saying the evidence speaks for itself. If you let a woman write and direct, it's a solid piece of art. I just, it's a different perspective, which scares some people, but,
Well, I love that, because sometimes guys don't understand women that love like horror, thriller, like all this stuff. Sometimes they're in the closet about it. I think you need to come out and because there's something about it that some women are like, no, I like romance. I'm like, I have not met anybody that likes romance anytime soon, but they all love horror and thriller. What's that about?
I mean, I don't know. I've always been drawn to horror movies. I like the I don't know. I like that you're able to give like a solid message and a cultural view through the lens of horror in a way that it's actually palatable and people are hooked and listening and really watching. That's what we were trying to do.
Okay, well, it sounds good. Genevieve, Rachel, great team, great everything. Is there any nod to any actors that you really said, oh, you hit it out of the park?
Oh, both are our actors.
Yeah. Like both our actors were fantastic. Marty was amazing. Emma, who she looks 16 in this, but she's actually 23. Emma Halen, she was incredible to work with. And we had some great supporting characters that are only at the beginning of the film. But yeah, we were really lucky to have an incredible cast, but also an incredible crew on this.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, good job. I see it's a student category. I can't wait to see non-student, because if you could do that with student, I mean, imagine what you could do next. Like, wow.
Thank
you.
Absolutely. All right, we got to take a quick break. Again, click on the link. It's lafemme.inventive.org/films. You can get it. You can get just one if you just want to see this, or you can get them all for a simple little price of $49.99. All right, people, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. Stay tuned.
Thanks.
Joining us right now are two people that are doing it well. It's all August at 22. We got Mary Elizabeth Monda, and I'm assuming Sophia?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so you both are a part of this film. It's interesting because it's a feature. It's an hour and a half. We've been getting a lot of shorts, not going to lie. But doing a feature is something really amazing, and I understand you two are kind of going to do something else as well?
Do something else in the future?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Always,
this is the first of many. Hopefully.
Okay, so let's talk about that. August of 22, what's it about?
It's about a Cal who's a floundering actress, and she accidentally falls in love with her best friend's girlfriend.
Got it.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a backwards love triangle.
Okay, well, I like backwards. Backwards is always good. Obviously, you know, when people see things like this, they go, okay, what do I do? Do I make it happen? What do I do, right? And this film deals with a lot of stuff, including like some great cast. Can you talk about how you put they all together?
Yeah. So Allie, the star and the writer of this movie, she is playing Cal, the lead character. We knew each other at college, actually, but we weren't friends and collaborators until we both lived in New York. And then Jorge, who plays her best friend Bobby, we met in acting school. So that was like our connection. And then we did like the open casting call for Jacob, who's like the love interest, the like childhood best friend. And he submitted through Backstage, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And he auditioned for us and he was perfect. And then Lily Kay, who is Emily, she's amazing. Allie met her through her acting class. It was the same studio, but different sections that where Jorge and I met. And Lily Kay is actually, I believe Your Honor season 2 is coming out, and she's in that, and she's also in Yellowstone season 5, which is also coming out very soon. So we're very excited for her.
So a lot of our actors came from the same studio, Terry Knickerbocker in New York. So they had similar training. You guys had background together. It was a really close environment throughout the process.
Okay, well, I love it already. It looks amazing, by the way. It's a film that I could see a lot of people going, okay, I get it. And you know, a lot of people are kind of looking for like stuff that are like from, let me put it this way, like people that go to college, right? This is like a college type, not real call, but like, you know.
Yeah, it's a very young film. We all made it when we were quite, early days in New York. It was all our first feature. So whenever somebody asks me about it, I call it a very young movie. Like everybody that was on set, most of it was our first feature, I think, for our main crew and cast at least. So I think that the themes within the film translated fairly well to our creative team as well. And it shows when you watch the film and the audience seems to respond well to that.
Yeah. I do think like there are some people maybe in their like, 40s and 50s that might watch this and resonate with it as well, though. Think back to when they were 22 years old and when they were making interesting decisions in their life.
Yeah, we recently showed at a festival and we had some parents come up to us and say, oh, that's how our children have been acting. And they can recognize their early 20s kids kind of acting as if their world is collapsing within them and everything is feeling like it's the most important thing right now. So that was really interesting to see an older crowd connected with it in a way.
And let me put this out there, because sometimes films are made to like have like, okay, I'll give you an example. There's sometimes films that are like, like Paramount, the big guys, right? They hire usually older people to tell young youth stories, when in reality, you got to let the youth tell stories. And you don't want to be like thinking you're young, but you kind of have your pulse on something. And I say you need to get kind of like you guys, like if you want to hit that, like one who says this is exactly how this generation is, acting, and I hate to use the word generation, but it's called like the youth of today, or the kids that we used to be. I'm not going to give my age, whatever. But my point is like, it makes sense because this is kind of the humor, the way it,
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, I think it's important when certain communities tell stories for those communities, and age plays into that as well.
Yeah.
Because I hate old people kind of telling young youth stories when I'm like, that's why it doesn't resonate. That's why it's a bomb. But I think this will make really good, like, you know, in like, especially, I love that it's on every device, right? Anybody can watch it. Your friends can watch it. College people can watch it. They'd be like, hey, dude, I totally get this. Like, they can identify with one of the characters, right? And I will say this, someone is asking in social media, Rich, he's saying, what top 3 pieces of advice would you give to anyone brave enough to make a full feature film? Because obviously, I mean, you put a lot of time and effort into this. And again, great cast.
Yeah.
Top 3.
Yeah. I think the first piece is finding friends and people that support you.
Yeah. We met really randomly. I walked up to her in a coffee shop because I heard her talking about films, and I thought that she would be somebody that I want to know.
Yep.
So kind of be brave and also find your community that, like you were saying.
Yeah, I think those are 2 great pieces of advice. 1, be brave enough to want to do it. And 2, find the community members that share similar values. Sophia, Ali, and I, the 3 key creatives here, we all knew what it would take to make this feature and how it was going to be made. It was made in a very, you know, scrappy early 20s type of way. So you have to find the right people. I guess another piece of advice is lean on your community. It's similar to finding the right people, but lean on your community and make sure you're reaching out to different, you know, we used a lot of local businesses, a lot of women's groups to find our crew. Make sure you're using a lot of local communities instead of trying to
figure it out yourself.
Do it all yourself.
Yeah, I think definitely, like, along the same lines, putting your ego to the side to ask somebody on your team who might know more than you, and you have to first of all admit that you don't know everything. And just go, okay, you know, these are my strengths. This person's good at the logistics and budgeting, and we have a tight budget, so I need to talk to this person about this thing. So, yeah, especially with like indies like this, you need to be super, super careful with budgeting.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
Just do that.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, budgeting, because you know, budgeting is kind of like what people. I'll give you an example. We had an interview earlier. I'm like, okay, I'm going to France, right? I got the hookup now, finally. It's just like, we do it for the fun of it, you know, film like making for art, right? And that's a very, you know, French thing. But they kind of put their time in, they put their energy in. And here, it's kind of expensive to make a film unless you have like tax credit or, you know, like, where did you film it?
We filmed in New York, mostly in Brooklyn, actually all over New York.
Yeah, a little bit in like lower Manhattan, but yeah, mostly Brooklyn.
Yeah, we crowdfunded the entire film pretty much, and it was made for a very low budget for a feature. And yeah, we filmed mostly in New York, didn't have a tax credit or anything like that.
No.
And I love that you crowdfund. It's a thing that is kind of like, for last, I want to say like maybe 4 or 6 years, I've been seeing. I remember we helped promote on our show, ABC KMET 1490 AM. We promoted a crowdfunding thing. It was called Agent 88. And the guy came in and he's like, hey, Kickstarter was just brand new. Indiegogo was there. What platform did you use to crowdfund?
Indiegogo, actually. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So putting even that together, sometimes people go, I don't know if I have the time. And then some say, I don't know if I want to do that. And then others say, I don't even know how to get the word out. I barely have like 3 friends on Facebook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely you do have to commit to it. If you're going to crowdfund a project, you kind of have to reach out to every single person you know. You have to make sure it's the right project, because we've seen a lot of projects where everybody tries to crowdfund every single project they do. And it doesn't, you can't make projects like that all the time. So pick and choose the projects that you are really passionate about, and make sure you're budgeting properly so you know how much money you need, and commit to your crowdfunding so that you can make it look really good and market it correctly. Because you might only have 3 Facebook friends, but you know a lot of people in person probably. So make sure that everybody knows about it. You're emailing all of your communities, all of your connections. So
yeah, I also think that goes back to what you were saying about being brave, like just to do any step of this. Like, it's a hard thing to ask people in your network for money.
Yeah.
But when it's something that you're passionate about and they see that passion and you talk to them, you know, those 3 people might know 3 other people, and then it just grows exponentially from there. But you just have to take that first step.
How long did you take in that part of the crowdfunding? Because that really is sometimes the reason some people never make money. They don't even put even the time in to find the money, you know?
Yeah, 3 months.
I think that's right. Yeah.
I think about 3 months. We started before our crowdfunding went live. We started reaching out to direct contacts first, and then we did our live, like, public crowdfunding.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Well,
public for 3 months.
I love that you did it. Don't forget to email them and say, hey, we got into the Femme Film Festival. Thank you very much. You know what I mean? So give a nod to them. And again, we say thank you for bringing it to the Femme Film Festival. The entire filmmakers are going to probably get a chance to see it. I know I'm going to have a chance. So great job. Great team you put together. And I'm pretty sure you probably got some friends out of this and maybe some hopefuls for another film. Are we talking, you know, anything soon?
Yeah. I'm ready.
Yeah. Well, we're both working on projects, not together necessarily, but hopefully something together soon.
Yes.
All right. Well, I think you need to work together. Don't let people divide you. Okay. When you have a winner, you work with that, and then you go next level. That's what George Lucas did, right? He worked with everybody. He still works with Harrison Ford on the side. You know, you never know.
Totally. Yeah. I'll be your Harrison Ford forever.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
There you go. All right, people, make it a great day. Thank you very much for spending time with us. And again, we look forward to seeing this. Again, click on the link. It's available for you. Get it now while it's here. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.